Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scala POPXP. And joining me tonight, it's a bit of I got the double D's. I got the double D's right here. I got Billy Tucci and Mr. Brian Blevins. Gentlemen, how we doing?
What up?
I want to know how to get a shirt like Billy's because I don't have one like that.
You got to go to New York Islanders Hawaiian shirt night, buddy.
Do they have those?
If that was his Hawaiian shirt, or if like that's the tops of his pajamas or something.
Do they have those?
I'm not going to be able to stay on long because I am sick as a friggin' dog. So I'm like a one-armed friggin'
bionic arm.
COVID-riddled. No, I got a cold, and I'm just sick. I'm gonna juice up on some NyQuil and go to bed in a little while.
When is the next? When is the next Islanders night in Arkansas? When is that?
I don't know. They're playing tonight, but I'm not. I don't want to know anything. I'm DVRing it. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Good to see you, boys.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Nile,
Good to see you,
man.
Good to see you.
I love the new intro. I know that we've used it for a while, but I don't think I said that to you. We're all the good.
No,
work
you haven't. I've been sitting here waiting. I'm like,
Yeah.
is tonight the night he's gonna say it?
Tonight.
Tonight the night. Now, Blevins, my friend, you have orchestrated this show tonight.
Right. It's a fact. It's a fact.
It is a fact. It's a fact. And interesting. I mean, why don't we? Well, first off, let's bring in our special guest. We have a special guest host.
Yes, he's even more special to me than he is you guys. But yeah,
you're so crazy. You weird man. Are you ever going to give him his socks back?
No.
What? Hey everyone, welcome Jimmy Palmiotti.
Hey Jimmy.
Thanks for giving me that sock back, Blevin.
Hey, you're welcome.
Now I got two. All right.
What's up, Jimmy? How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, glad to be here. It's I'm in beautiful, rainy Florida right now.
Oh, you got rain?
Yeah, I like it though. I like when it rains. It makes me feel better about being inside.
Feels so clean, right? No, cleans your soul if it does.
Yes, it does. It does. Yeah,
nice. But Blevins, now, before we introduce our guest tonight,
Billy wants to say something.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, I want to say something about our guest. He's got two big, or should we save that? Our guest host has got two huge things going on right now.
He does have two big things going
on
right now.
He's got a Kickstarter campaign that is just flying off the presses like a hot potato. And he's got a movie debuting tonight. A movie
premiere.
A movie premiere.
That's true, but you have to be on Shudder to see it. Although you can, I think it has like you can sign up and get a week or a month free or something. So
you can get 1 week free.
1 week free. So sign up, watch the movie, and then.
So that means it's scary.
Yes,
it's on Shudder. It's scary.
Well, thank you, Jimmy, for joining us. On your movie debut, because
we'll premiere the trailer of that shortly.
Well, you can see I'm at the premiere tonight.
Nice.
And who are you wearing tonight?
I am wearing Calvin Klein.
Nice.
And my hat says "Make Lying Wrong Again" hat on, and because not normal times, right? The movie it actually premiered in a bunch of drive-ins.
Oh, cool!
Oh, awesome.
One in Florida, one in Toronto. It made its rounds in drive-ins, but now tonight it's on Shudder in Canada and the United States. So,
well, congratulations, Jimmy. That's amazing. Like very few. I mean, you're like in Dave Stevens territory and the likes of that. You're an independent creator with your own property from your independent comic book is made into a film. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And what a great feat.
It's fun. I mean, it was a one shot we did for Image. Justin Gray and I and Giancarlo did for Image. I think like 10 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago. And it's basically about two comic creators who create the ultimate like slasher character. And basically, they pose the question: what if you create something and people take it a little too seriously? Mm-hmm. And what can happen because of that? So it was a basic, setup. And how people like love the character and start, acting like the character, and the character's not a good guy, and kind of bad stuff happens to a lot of people. So
Maybe he's just misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. He is.
And Jay,
he's just looking for love.
Yeah, and Jay Bouchel. Well, maybe we should. And Jay Bouchel, he's a huge comics fan, and he loves it. Baruchel,
Jay's written comics. He's got a couple of DC comics coming up that he did a little guess thing, but he loves comic books, and he could not be a nicer guy. Especially treating me like gold, which that goes a long way with me.
And he
That's
secretly
why I only do you guys' show, because I get treated like gold.
But there you go. Well, and he secretly wants to be a serial killer, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I do kill about 2 bowls of cereal every morning. So
there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
We should talk about serial killers and talk about what kind of cereals we like to kill in the mornings. Well, my God, guys. Well, Jimmy, Jimmy, thank you for joining us tonight because he's one of our best friends for a long time, for over a quarter century, coming on 30 years.
Quite a lot of history here.
Yeah, and what the very first retailer and only retailer, I believe, that actually saw my initial pages of She and loved it and wanted to put it into his store, which is at the time Jim Hanley's Universe,
right,
in New York City. And I walked into the store and I showed him the colored pages, that they were hand colored back then, Jimmy, if you remember those days.
I do.
And he loved it. And he was very encouraging, and he wanted to help me and teach me how to get comics into the stores, and because I had no idea. And so one of the first people to believe in me, he was the very first editor-in-chief of Crusade Comics back in 1994 and 95, until he started his own company called Neutral Ground, which was really groundbreaking at the time because it was a place for gaming. And I remember asking him, like, "Sweet, is this a store that people come and play games at?" He's like, "Yeah." And he opened it up in Manhattan. And he's a hugely successful guy, wonderful comics historian, writer, helped create a couple of comic book companies, amongst other things. But while we're at it, why don't we introduce, without further ado, and he could carry it from there, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian David Marshall.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian.
Wow.
What a great intro.
That was great. That felt awesome. Let's do
I
that
know
again.
I'm all hopped up on NyQuil. So
the whole time I'm like, I know him longer than you, Billy.
Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying. I was hearing you guys' secret origin, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know Brian like years before Billy. I'm like, and I'm wondering, okay, because Brian's wore a lot of hats. You've worn a lot of hats in your career, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I go back to Brooklyn making comics in the 80s. But Billy, just going back to your Sheena #1 story, I don't know if you remember this. I was actually doing the gaming thing sort of parallel to Crusade, and I was in a Kinko's making flyers.
When I was okay, you were in a Kinko's.
Yeah, I knew you from the store, but then I was in a Kinko's making flyers for like a Magic tournament that I was running, and you came in with the She pages, and I ended up writing your solicitation copy.
Oh, did you really?
#1 in a Kinko's randomly, like randomly ran into each other, and I was like, oh wait, I would change this and do this, and like I just wrote out like 2 paragraphs or something about the book, based on flipping through the Xeroxes at the Kinko's.
Oh wow, does that blow your mind, Blevins?
It does. It kind of shines some light on where that heritage auction copy came from.
Oh shoot! Oh dang! Well, it was Jimmy. If you remember, you guys go way back, even before Brian and I did. But remember that time in that early '90s when it was actually a lot like now. I feel that if you want to make a comic book, there's nothing stopping you from doing it, and you could do it. And at the time, too, the distributors and the retailers seemed to be far more open to independent books. I guess because of the whole image explosion and all. But it was just what a wonderful time, thinking about that. Here's Brian. I knew you from the store, and then we just start talking in Kinko's. and I remember that you believed in me, and like, yeah, let me fix this. And you wrote our solicitations, and, it's been downhill since then, hasn't it, buddy?
The solicitations, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it. It's funny because Brian and I were working during the black and white explosion, which was before. It was before the indie explosion, before the creator explosion. It was when you literally could put ink on your ass and slide until 22 pages and print it. And somebody was out there ready to buy it. And and we had it was me and Brian, Evan Dorkin, I think Joe Rubenstein was in there once in a while, and
John Arcudi was there.
John Arcudi, Tony Ang. There was a gal there that she was a penciler. I can't remember. I don't remember. And actually, Billy, it was in a house in was that considered Bensonhurst where we were?
That was Bensonhurst, yeah, West 13th Street.
We were in a house in Bensonhurst where Brian stuck rubber masks in the window.
and this great bay window. And we had all these Don Post, remember like the great Don Post Halloween masks? Like the Stormtrooper from American Werewolf in London, and like a rabid gorilla, and like all these just horror movie masks that my friend stole from Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, it's a nice little Italian neighborhood. Had like severed heads from one end of the window to the other, and the whole and it had like people like us coming in and out all hours of the day and night, inking comics overnight. I think there was one comic we did where we inked it overnight, like we penciled it overnight. And I remember because we were so tired. Evan Dorkin was sticking the Cookie Monster in the background and we didn't know until the next day, like, oh my God, we got to wipe this out because
why is Cookie Monster in Ninja?
and why is he in a space helmet? I remember he was wearing a spacesuit. But it was like Coca-Cola / beer / L&B Gardens Pizza Fest work fest, and then we'd get like $300 for the whole book. It was some ridiculous amount. But it was definitely, for me, it was exciting because I already had a job. So I got to go somewhere and do comics at night and then hang out with a bunch of guys where we all had so much in common. It was so much fun just to bullshit all day,
I got to tell you, Jimmy, I owe you like a 30-plus year overdue apology because I was both a short-term genius and a long-term idiot, right? Because so Jimmy walks in, I get introduced. Someone I think at Byron Price introduced me to Jimmy. Yeah. I guess Jimmy was like, kind of bringing his portfolio around to places looking for work. Yeah. Someone's like, oh, you should talk to these guys in Brooklyn, right, or something like that. And so Jimmy came in like Jimmy does with a million ideas, right? And he's like got all these things, and I was like, we could really use an inker. And you could tell Jimmy didn't necessarily want to be an inker, but we needed an inker, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was showing penciling samples.
Yeah, and we need, but the thing that I really, this is where the apology comes from, is you had so many crazy freaking ideas for stories.
Yep.
It was scary, and I should have just fired everybody else and let you write everything.
Well, we did.
I apologize. Because
I think Ryan, it's all good. Nothing. It's all good. I had to go through that madness, to figure out what I wanted to do. I remember my highlight was I inked like 6 books or something, and they said, all right, you can solicit this book, The Night Visitors. And I drew this book, and I drew this thing, and it was like 2 issues. And at the time, I also was doing some, I don't know what happened, but all the artwork disappeared on the book. I drew these 2 books, and because we solicited, it was in one of the solicits that, and it had some pages interior. That's the last I've ever seen of that artwork. It all disappeared. I drew 2 books, and I killed myself on these. And I think after that, that's why I became an inker, because I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I'm going to have to draw 2 more books and have them disappear. What the hell is this?
Oh my God.
So if it were not for Brian David Marshall, we would not have had the Joe Quesada, Jimmy Palmiotti team up.
Yeah. Okay. That I might be angry at you for.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I think it would have been a different career for me. That's for sure. I just look, Brian. I don't even remember. I was also coloring covers.
Yep.
Right, I was coloring the covers. Pretty much anything that I could do. I went in there after work and ate pizza and said, "What do you got?" And
well, you were a professional in a room full of people who were making it up as they went along.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, "Hey, Jimmy, here's this thing. We don't know how to make this page of terrible pencils look good. And you'd be like, I don't either, but I'll get close.
Yeah, I was like, let me take a finger off that. You remember that, Billy? Let me take a finger or two off that hand, and we'll fix it up.
Hey, when I drew that sheet cover, the sheet trade paperback cover, I did not draw her with 6 fingers.
No, you drew it with 7.
No.
One off, teach you a lesson. But anyway, I was just so happy to make comics, and it was never about the money. You know, obviously it wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great time because it was exciting time. You know, it was just, it didn't matter. Nobody was buying it. It was just fun to make them.
Yeah. There were a lot of really interesting people that came through. Like the Eternity, you were there. Dean Haspiel was there. Martin Powell was doing books for us. Richard Case was someone we discovered there. Ron
Lim was.
Ron Lim. I pulled Ron Lim out of Dave Campini's slush file.
Yeah, man. I was thinking Ron Lim on X Mutants. I was thinking at the time.
Yeah. Wow.
And remember Uriel? What is it? Uriel
and Salim Katan, two of the best artists no one's ever heard of.
I still
never
have their
did me work.
I still have their artwork, Brian. I still have half of that book, and it's stunning and better than anything I've seen in other books. And they were working at the Gap last time I saw. One of them was working at the Gap.
Uriel was offered Justice League by Andy Helfer. He said, I will give you Justice League. Like, I don't remember what stage it was. Someone was and they're like, you can just take over the book, right? This book that just had this tradition of, what's his face, and all these just great artists, and then he just didn't do it.
Did Uriel work on Who Is the Crooked Man?
What's it? No, that was a book we did with you guys, but no, that was John Hafford. No, Uriel was Uriel knew.
Crusade.
Nice, Nile.
Uriel was friends with like Aldrin Awe and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you know Aldrin knew Uriel very well.
Who was that?
They went
another one,
Delphin. Yeah, I'm still friends with Delphin.
Yeah.
There's like t-shirt design now.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it was a great time. Like I said, I was doing that, and then I started doing backgrounds for Mark Texera. And
do you remember how that happened?
You saw him at a signing in Staten Island.
Wow,
and he said, and you said you talked to me, and he needed help on something, and you called me up and said Tex needs help, and I met Tex in the city, and he said, here's an issue of Ghost Rider, here's an issue of Punisher.
Oh my God, I need help. Take this.
Do everything you can, just leave me the skulls. And, but with Tex, I was like, I'm not going to help you ink it unless I can do it in the Marvel offices, because I wanted to get up there to show my samples.
Yeah.
But no, I do remember that, Brian.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. See, you don't owe me anything.
All right, we're even.
There you go. Okay.
Do I owe you something, Brian?
Well, you told me once you did, but then you said all the money was gone.
Oh, well.
Wow.
I ran into you at San Diego Comic-Con after not seeing you for a couple of years, and you said that, do you remember She #1 Fan Appreciation Edition?
That's right.
Doing a second printing?
Yes. This is the genius right here, Jimmy. Now, if you remember this story, or Blevins, if you're aware of this, or Nile. I wanted She Way of the War. We only printed 50,000 copies of,
right.
And it flew out. So the book was really a really high book. People are selling it for like $50 or something. So I'm like, I want to expand the audience. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do a second printing. And I'm talking to Brian, and Brian goes, "Don't do a second printing. You're going to do a fan appreciation edition, and you're going to drop the price from $2.50 for the original to $1.95." And we sold 120,000 of them. Oh my God!
Nice.
And it's considered a fan appreciation edition.
Genius.
Nuts. And it is. Think about it. It's it's its own standalone issue.
It's your wife appreciation edition.
So thank you, Brian.
Yeah, that was a fun. That that was a fun time too. That was really good. There were a lot of great people there. That was just like a very cool setup. And it's funny. I still work with Steve Ellis to this day.
Oh yeah, I love Steve Ellis.
Steve is someone we discovered. Right, Jamal was doing She Pages with you, and like I don't know if Steve like tagged along with him or he had some Steve pages in his portfolio, but then we ended up giving Steve Atomic Angels.
Yes, because Jamal came up to me at it might have been Philadelphia Con in like January '95 or something, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm an artist. Look at that Comic Angels, nice Steve Ellis cover, well done, wow." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this stuff's great. You want a job?" He's like, "Yes." And Jamal, I think Jamal's first book might have been No Pressure Tomo Witchblade crossover. No pressure, Jamal. In the summer of 95, 96. Yeah, I think it was 96 when I met him. And then Steve did Atomic Angels for us. He had a lot of stuff. A lot of She stuff he worked on as well. I love those guys.
Yeah. Jamal actually used to work at Jim Hanley's Universe.
Yep, I remember that.
Way back when,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I worked with Jamal years before that.
How is Jim doing? Have you heard from Jim Hanley? How is he doing?
He's back in Staten Island. He's doing okay. He's a sarcastic SOB. He's doing okay for himself. I mean, he's not the young man he used to be, but he's holding his own and still talks to a lot of people. And
was he ever young?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I found out that he was, as it turns out, chronologically young. At the time, we thought he was very old.
How old is he? Do you know how old he is?
I think he's got to be in his like late 60s now, maybe early 70s.
Oh, so is he like Don Rickles? Like Don Rickles was like 30. Everyone thought he was like 60. He never aged because he stayed the same age.
Yes.
I loved going into Hanley's in New York and going all the way in the back and sitting there and talking to Jim for a while, just talking about. He would ask me what I got coming out and what's going on at the companies, and I miss doing that in the store. What that old location, That
was a cool store too. That was like you talked about that time, Billy, of like people like that boom of comics, and like there was so much excitement around things, and it would be like there would be signings at Jim Hanley's Universe for like Wildcats, or for Bone, or for Madman, the All Red book or whatever, and you just have like lines down the block for like all these like wildly different comics, and people were just super excited, and
we did a signing there for Daredevil 1. It was me and Joe and Kevin Smith.
Wow.
And the line went around the block, the whole entire block, and they had cops there. And at one point, everyone kept telling me the line's around the block, and I got up and I said, "Well, I got to see this because I don't believe it."
Yeah.
And it literally went around the entire block, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like, I'm never leaving here." But, I also remember doing a signing. We did a signing for the Pro. Me and Amanda did a signing for the Pro at Jim Hanley's, and the first guy online was Frank Miller.
No way!
What? Wow!
Frank was there, and Frank was a huge fan of Amanda's, and he was the first one with the book, and he goes, "I read it while I was waiting online. It's brilliant." And he had Amanda sign it, and Amanda was like, "Oh my God, that was
that's awesome."
It was no line for that one, though. I remember we did that signing. It was 10 people, but it was Frank right there in the front. So,
it was a very specific window of time where people were excited about comics, and then it was over.
Yes. I remember, Brian, you tell me a story, if you remember this one, before my signing at Jim Hanley's, and you were giving me the scoop of how to act. And I remember that Rob Lightfeld was like screaming at Jim Hanley because he's like, "You sold too many tickets. You sold too many tickets." And Lightfeld wanted to go home. And he's like, "Whatever you do, don't tell me you sold too many tickets." I'm like, "No way, man. You kidding me? This is awesome. I'm here all day."
My favorite Lightfeld story from that Lightfeld signing, because there was a Youngblood signing, is Rob's doing the signing, and he's got the whole studio there, and they're doing this whole thing, and it's like a line around the block, and it's, they'd been on the Dennis Miller show the night before. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was that just insane hype. And the line's just going. And at some point, Rob Liefeld just kind of like holding court about comics. And he's like, man, I love Dave Mazzucchelli. It's a shame that Dave Mazzucchelli doesn't make comics anymore. And I was like, no, dude, Dave totally makes comics. He just had a comic come out last week, Rubber Blanket #3. And he's like, what? And he stands up and he like silences the room. And he's like, Dave, somebody bring me a rubber blanket.
Bring me.
Somebody bring me a rubber blanket. And he's so excited, like he's got images of Daredevil in his head, images of Year One. Mm-hmm. And like Rubber Blanket was like raw. It was like, Art Spiegelman's Raw. It was like this big. It was like on like really like fibrousy paper. It was like maybe 2 or 3 color printing. It was super graphic. It was like all design and like very little.
I think I have one. You keep talking.
Very little substance. It was like design first.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Dave's personality, like just super cool and super hipster, and Rob just takes the book and he's just standing there. The whole room is just waiting for him to start signing frickin' comics again, right? And he's just like looking at it. And he's looking at it and he just doesn't understand what he's looking at, right? Like and he like takes the book and he just kind of like throws it on the ground. And he's like, as he lost his effing mind.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It was the greatest. Like,
I don't have them. I only have the raw books.
Yeah, but that's kind of what Rubber Blanket looked like.
It was a giant, pretty big comic book.
It's huge.
I love that, actually.
That is awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
Mad
But
Magazine.
if you're looking for Year One, it's not there.
That bigger than a Mad Magazine?
It's so cool. It has like a little comics inside them, and
neat.
Wow, those are great.
This is like art.
Oh my God, I love that.
Let me tell you something.
That is awesome.
So
awesome.
Secret thing about Jimmy has the best taste in comics and music. Like,
and women who behave.
And that's also true. But in comics and music, again, when I was doing Eternity Comics, I was a kid. I think I started the company when I was like 16.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy,
I don't know, you're a couple of years older than me. Not a lot older than me, but enough that it was when you're 16, it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely like 10 years older than you, buddy. I think.
Are you?
Billy bought you beer, or Jimmy bought you beer.
I just turned.
You were on your banana seat, Mike, and he gave you the paper bag.
59 like a couple of days ago.
No, yeah. So you're not. I'm over 50, so I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Not
Okay.
10. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but it's about a half a decade.
Okay.
But Jimmy would like just be like, have you guys seen this artist? Do you know this artist? Jordy Burnett, right? Or is that the? I don't even know.
Yeah,
if that's
Jordy Burnett. Yeah.
Like Jimmy was the first person to talk about him, to talk about Mobius, to just like just pouring over these like European comics and like these graphic novels that weren't even translated. I still have a bunch of stuff I just bought because Jimmy's like, buy that. That's great. And it's great. And the same thing with music. Like I don't understand how like he was the only person in that far off corner of like recessed Brooklyn, which everyone else was just listening to like, disco pumping out of the back of their, the trunk of their car. And Jimmy was just listening to all this cool stuff. It was like so cool as like a younger person, like, oh, this person makes comics and just also has this incredible aesthetic. It was super cool.
Well, thank you, Brian. Awesome. I actually, it's funny because I still buy around 3 or 4 albums a week.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm like my, they're on iTunes and whatnot. But I try, like, what's great about iTunes, right? It's the old, remember you used to go to a record store and put this on and sit there and go, oh, okay,
yeah.
So iTunes, but I try so much stuff out, or I'll hear something in a soundtrack, or I'll I'll be like, oh, that guy's from that guy was a producer of that guy's record, and now he just put together a group of guys. Let me hear what that sounds like. I've always been like that. I think because my brother had a recording studio at one point, so I used to separate. But the comic books, heavy metal. Remember, heavy metal used to have everybody in it. And I was so sick of like American comics. It was all the same stuff. You know, there was a time when all the comics they all look, you know, nothing wrong with them, but once a Barry Smith or a Bernie Wrightson would pop up or a Kaluta, you'd be like, wait, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
And the Europeans were going like crazy doing the Mobius and Bernay and there's so many Bial and all those guys. Yeah, it definitely cost me a lot of money because I used to buy European stuff all the time and it was a fortune. Remember, even Hanley's had it. It was like expensive, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have Apple Music now.
What's that?
I said I hope you have Apple Music.
You know, I don't. But I have probably around 10,000 albums and 10, you know, at least and soundtracks, and I just try new stuff all the time. I follow people, I follow singers, I follow writers, right? Yeah. Songwriters and stuff. So
look into that. Then it's you know, $9.99 a month, and then everything iTunes has is yours.
Right. Did the people get money from it too? They get all.
Yeah. Well, you're getting your subscription.
Yeah, I know. It's like my subscription royalties from DC and Marvel. They bought me this hand sanitizer.
We're a bunch of nice guys.
But Billy, I want to say the funny thing. I also remember about meeting you before you did before she came out, was talking to you about art, and you were one of the few comic artists who I talked to at the store and who came through there all the time. And you almost never talked about other comic book artists. You talked about fine art all the time.
Oh,
your influences were. I remember having a conversation with you about Egon Schiele.
Yeah,
which was like
I remember that conversation because we were looking at one of the Vertigo books, actually. I think. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I remember exactly where we were in the store doing that.
Yeah.
That's before she came out.
Yeah. No. Eternity Comics did not. I don't think Eternity Comics published Evil Ernie.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, you know what it was is what happened with me, Brian, is that I loved comic books in elementary school and up to about 9th grade. But then the better I got at art, look who's here, honey, Brian David Marshall. Hey. And Jimmy.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Hey, sweetie.
Great. How are you? So good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hang on.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Great. Or as great as can be, anyway, right?
Right.
We were talking about girls when you came in, so it made everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah, girls.
Talking about girls.
We were talking about chicks, the hot chicks in comics, and your name came up, and
girls.
Right.
Yeah. Now we have to stop talking about you.
What about you and your yoga pants today?
I don't have yoga pants.
What are they?
Huh?
They're like
They're yogurt pants. Even better.
Hey, I have to go, but if I get a chance to come back, I will definitely come back on before the show's up. But I have to. They've been blowing my phone up, so I got to go. Brian David Marshall, it's incredible having you on the show. I had no idea all this stuff was going to be on. I wanted to talk about magic. I talk about when we met. Talk about how you confronted cheaters. I mean, like I wanted to hit all that stuff, but I'm sorry that I got to bounce. But hopefully I'll make it back in time, or hopefully you can come back another time after all this.
Okay, yeah, whatever. So, we'll get a game in on. We'll play a game over Zoom or something.
Well, Brian, we want to start doing that. Actually, we want to start doing gaming on our show. Have a gaming platform that Brian's putting together, and do some kind of cool gaming. Talk about magic, talk about and then maybe even do a live game.
Are you doing a lot on Arena? Because we could definitely play on Arena.
I play Arena all the time. I've been doing a lot of magic via webcam, like playing with physical cards against friends, using Spell Table or something like that.
Done.
Playing a lot.
Awesome.
We have a big Battlebook tournament too.
Yeah, did you say Battlebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a gaming project.
Definitely have to do battle books.
Doing
Battle books would be great.
The battle books.
Battle books. Jimmy, my bestest friend in the whole world. I'm sorry, I got to bounce.
Billy,
hey, I still have that picture to send you. You didn't send me the address for me to mail it to you, and you still got to let me know about that solar page.
Oh, okay, man.
So, but anyway, see y'all later. See you later, Nile. Bye, Billy.
Later, buddy.
Later, Brian.
You know what's funny? I've never played any of those games, Brian. I've never played any of them. The card games. You had that whole place, that neutral ground. I used to go up there and visit, and I think the reason why is I don't know if I had the bandwidth to do one more thing, and then get totally absorbed in it. Like
it's true.
You know,
Magic absorbed 2 decades of my life. Easy.
I still have that starter pack somewhere in my house. Somewhere.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, you know, because they gave it to me in Chicago. They had Carmen Electra sitting at the booth, and the guy gave me this box. And he goes, "These are Magic cards, and we're doing this game." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." You know.
Wait! What year was that?
Oh, Chicago, 93, 94, 95.
All right, so seriously, if it's 93 or 94, that box of Magic cards has got a comma in its price and possibly 5 digits.
God, if I run into it, I'll throw it to you.
I got a Sarah Angel first card. First print. Remember that? Remember I can't believe the Sarah Angel card. Does that worth money these days?
Like an alpha or beta Sarah Angel.
The very first one. It's like the very first Sarah Angel.
If it's an alpha Sarah Angel, it's worth about $600.
Woo! $600, Jimmy. I'm gonna get that. We're gonna go drink.
Well, how did you get into Magic and stuff, Brian?
How much is this card worth? It's I put a beard on me and
you look like Nelson with a beard.
And then I have this signed by the Penguin, Danny DeVito.
Oh, there you go. Look
we
at that.
got Vincent in the house. My buddy Vincent. He's got a gaming store in Texas.
All right.
Hey,
he's actually we were talking about doing like one of the live games. We were gonna do like he was gonna be like the live DM and all that, and we were gonna see if we get some of our past guests on to play around.
I got into Magic through Hanley's. The same thing. It was like around the same time I was doing like the Crusade stuff, during 9 to 5, and then like 6 o'clock I'd be back in the city at neutral ground from like 6 to 2 in the morning. Yeah. So if I was dragging ass the next day, Billy, that's why.
Dude, you hustled all the time, Brian.
Yeah.
You had like 8 hustles, and I think it might, it's a Brooklyn, Queens kind of thing where we grow up. I mean, let's be honest, Brian. If we weren't making comics, we'd probably be selling fireworks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that much of a stretch. And we were always like hustling something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. I mean, I don't know if that's a New York thing.
I remember when I was in sleepaway camp when I was like 10. I got my aunt to mail me Playboys, right? And then I would sell them. I would tear pages out and sell them for like $5 a page.
There you go. That's great. When I was a counselor, I would make them pay me for protection, especially
oh my God.
It kind of worked out.
We did that. I took my brother's Playboys and we would rip the pages out in Penthouse and we'd sell them in school, and then we got bagged. And my friend Dennis Shaw busted, he got busted and he got pinched, and then he
did he flip?
Yeah, of course he flipped. Did
you give him the mark of the squealer?
No. And he's like, and there's Dennis, and he's like, and he said he got these pages from you, and I'm like, not me. I didn't give him these. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And my friend Dennis gets and goes, we're like third, fourth, had to be third grade. Had to be third grade, maybe fourth grade, maybe. He's an effing liar. You're an effing liar. And in the principal's office, called me a fucking liar. That was great. Yeah, I think we sold like 25 cents each, and he got pinched.
Oh, nice.
He ratted on me, the kraut bastard that he is.
I remember in 7th grade for myself, we were bootlegging. We found one porno, and we just kept copying it over VHS, and we were just selling them for like $15-20 a pop.
You remember what it was?
Sex Commandos.
It would be.
It was an Animal Farm.
And then we found
as long as it's not Animal Farm, I'm okay.
Animal Farm.
Yeah, that's the one. That was like the one that would come out at bachelor parties, and it was people having sex with animals. It was horrible. It was no good.
Actually, there was
it left like a bacony taste in your mouth watching it.
Or like 13, 14 years ago when I was doing restoration, we were in someone's house, and when there was a fire, they're not there, and we were clearing some stuff out, and we found a whole box of that stuff.
Yeah,
nice.
It was still.
Now you have the internet. Now you have the internet. You could just type in animal sex in there.
Animal House. What do you call it? Animal Farm. Type in Animal Farm. Porn. Oh, I don't want.
Jimmy, do you remember one Comic-Con?
Adopt a pet.
It was like Neutral Ground. I think we did 2 things with you, where you and Joe rented Neutral Ground.
Yes.
And so we would close Neutral Ground at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a party, and it was like an after Comic-Con party at Neutral Ground.
We would throw a party. Yep, we threw parties.
I remember going to that.
And I remember this one party, and it was just like
nobody liked you.
It was pretty good party, but it was kind of winding down. And Neutral Ground was on the 9th floor of a building in Manhattan with an elevator that Louis Cypher wouldn't go up in.
Yeah, it was. It was the Angel Heart elevator.
Yeah. Look, De Niro's like, I'll take the stairs, right? Like, and so anyway, it's like 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. The party's winding down. It's kind of got that sag, and everyone's just kind of like winding down and thinking about leaving.
Ramos is still there. Yeah.
And then the elevator opens up, and this is like a Jimmy weirdness magnet thing, and frickin' Guar comes out of the elevator in full like Guar makeup and yells, "Guar is here!" And like,
that's awesome.
Got the roller skates and stuff.
I do remember that. I remember, and I remember for some reason it was very important for me to throw a lot of parties and have a lot of get-togethers, because I felt that was the only way I was going to interact with all these editors and get work. Like I had to kind of sell, not only who I was, but it definitely was like a kind of like hanging out with the group kind of thing. There
was a New York comics lifestyle, right? That you were sort of the Martha Stewart of.
I definitely had like groups of people that I would slam together that normally wouldn't hang out with each other. I remember there was remember the X Bar on 23rd Street?
Oh yeah.
And I remember we threw a party there because it was like after Joe and I got a lot of money for Ash, and I threw a party there. We threw a party there, and I invited everyone from Valiant, everyone from DC, everyone from Marvel, and I have photos from it. And the funniest thing is, like, if you look in the background, it's like there's Dan DiDio with a business suit. There's all these people that later on, I didn't even know them at the time that well, but they were at the parties. And it was just I felt like if we had any success, we had to kind of share it a little bit. Billy felt that way too with having a party on that gigantic ship.
Yeah, the aircraft carrier.
He's like, come to the Intrepid and watch me light a pile of money on fire.
Yeah.
I remember Amanda and I were on it, like walking around going, he's crazy.
I remember, so whenever anyone brings up, Rob Liefeld built a spaceship, and I'm like, I'm not saying it. But I do remember, Brian, do you remember when also the phone rings at Crusade and you pick it up and you're like, yes, Scott, don't worry. Yes, obvious, Scott, absolutely. No problem. Just show up. It was Scott Lobdell calling why he didn't get an invite to the party. Listen, Scott was writing the X-Men. He's like the biggest, like everybody wanted to go to our party on the aircraft carrier, which was a pretty bitchin' party, I got to say.
Oh, those pictures, we still have those pictures from it, Amanda wearing that silver jacket.
Yeah.
We just had a great time. But it definitely was, you could have bought a house with the money you spent.
Yes, I could have. But I got videotape of that. And Brian, I would love for you to come onto this show. I have a lot of videotape from 1995 and 1996 of comic conventions, and me and Jimmy running around. I have from all the anti-gravity room. They gave me all their video from all the stuff they shot. So I have all this awesome old stuff.
Oh my God.
And I want to just do, because it's Comic-Con at home. Why don't we revisit past Comic-Cons or past parties and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
we'll show it. And maybe we'll just do a fun trip down memory lane and bring in guests that were there and stuff. You know?
Yeah, you can find footage of me awkwardly saying stuff to people, and
I'm gonna test Brian's memory. Brian, I'm gonna throw something at you.
all right.
Vodka toothpaste.
Oh, I was just talking to Carla about vodka toothpaste the other day. She didn't remember it. I remembered it.
A long story. We had like 3 different bottles. One was rum toothpaste. One was vodka,
Gin toothpaste.
and one was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like and it was toothpaste mixed with alcohol, so you can brush your teeth. I guess.
So if you didn't drink, you could brush your teeth and make it seem like you were a drunk. I think. I don't know.
Oh.
But there's a longer story on how we got it, but I just wanted to see if you remembered that.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
Hopefully he's watching. Hopefully he's watching this going, please don't tell that story.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of vodka toothpaste,
Yeah.
Nile, do you think we could show Jimmy's trailer?
Yeah. I was just looking for vodka toothpaste.
Is that you look?
By the way, Jimmy,
That's
like,
nasty.
I can tell you, I was so stoked that you got to do a premiere of this movie in a drive-in. That is like the most, like, that's the most Jimmy thing I can imagine.
I'm gonna ruin this for you because we couldn't make it.
Oh
No.
Yeah, it was 8 hours driving,
Okay.
and I would have flew there in a heartbeat, right? I would have taken a plane for $75 and landed there. We didn't go, but it was sold out. And I was represented, but people I know went on that coast. So
it's still such an awesome, like,
Yeah.
to make like this kind of like pulpy kind of like,
it
like
belonged
just
to
kind of,
Brian. Yeah,
you're kind of like grindhouse kind of comic,
I know.
and have it shown in a drive-in is just unbelievable.
Maybe it'll make it because we have a drive-in right near us here. So hopefully it'll make it over there. That would be
That would
awesome.
be cool. That would be
Let's
cool.
let's check it out. Let's
Okay,
check out the
check out the
trailer. We're gonna do it in this format, hopefully, so we don't get any strikes. It's your movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Got your SAG card?
I just stand in the woods and go, I can't wait to show you.
Jimmy, okay, all right.
That's awesome.
Jimmy,
But thank you. It was fun about when we did the comic. Tim Bradstreet did the cover and had the guy with the welding mask on and everything. And I asked Tim, I said, can you do me a great like horror type thing of a welding mask? And he says, well, what kind of welding mask? And I'm like, well, the one with the visor. And he goes, the perfect one would be one from Germany because they make these things. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, well, I need you to buy me one from Germany and have it sent to my house so I can have a model wear this. We got it from Germany, sent it to California. He put it on a model, took his pictures, and that's how we got the cover. But I was laughing because they got the white mask in the movie, And it's like, that's kind of fun. But
did you sell the movie studio the mask, the welding mask that you bought?
No, it's a very small independent film, right? So it doesn't have, the budget is all there on the screen. I think all the actors did it as a favor for Jay Baruchel, but it's a lot of fun. It's just twisted, weird stuff. It's the stuff you'd watch with a bunch of guys and, throw beer cans, eat pizza and watch it and go, oh, that's disgusting. And, like interactive kind of fun movie. It's definitely, it's not Inception or Interstellar, It's just a straight slasher film.
But it's got like you said, real actors in it. It's funny, Evan, who we talked about earlier, he does a horror movie podcast now.
Oh, wow.
Paul.
I didn't know that.
Just like it's called Tear Them Apart. But I was on an episode and we were talking about little movies that you watch and movies that people were watching on Shudder and stuff like that. And you come up with this rating system where I rated on how many headshots out of credited roles appear on IMDb. So it's like there's 17 credited parts and 2 actors have headshots. That's it's a 2 of 17. So I mean, you've got you're going to be way above the average ranking for Shudder movies because everybody in there is a real actor.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we when we flew up, I remember pulling into the parking lot and there was a severed head on the ground when I pulled up. I've only had I only had that kind of experience one time before when I pulled up when I went to New Orleans, and it was in the Bayou, and we visited the Jonah Hex set, and Josh Brolin in full makeup rode up to me and Justin on horse.
Oh my God!
And he goes, "You two son of a bitches did this to my face," And I said, "No, that was Fleischer and Tony DeZucca, and nope, we didn't do that." But he was like, he came up on the horse to us, and he goes, "Welcome to the set, guys." And I was
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Now, Jimmy, is there a
7 days free, guys?
What?
7 days free.
7 days. So
Line up, watch the movie, and then unsubscribe.
And then decide if you want to stay or not. It's all horror movies all the time.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of good stuff on there.
It's $5 a month. It's not really.
Yeah. If you like horror films, then why not?
It has more movies than HBO Plus.
Oh wow!
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, that's just made up. Well,
it doesn't have Friends.
It has The Mandalorian. I don't know if you knew that.
Jay doesn't have Friends.
Jimmy, is there a chance that perhaps either Slasher Man would become a Kickstarter comic, say, or maybe even the reprint of the Random Acts of Violence original comic?
I reprinted the Random Acts and had Tim Bradstreet mess with the cover. We made 400 copies and we put it. It's on the paperfilms.com site. We just made 400. We're selling them we're averaging like around 20 or 30 a week. We're selling them until they sell out. It's we have it on digital, but like I said, people wanted to have actual copies, and I interviewed Jay in the back, so it's me and Jay going back and forth, and added a couple of pages. Super limited print run. I think it's like $11 or $12 for it. So
that's it. That would be a cool, really quickie Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You do it, move them, just blow them out, and have a print or something, and
it's funny because I have the Kickstarter going for Pop Kill, so I kind of like. I don't want to try to like the Jimmy Palmiotti store to go on, like 800 things. I kind of. And with the Kickstarter is like I have to focus on each one because.
How many days do I have left on this one? I haven't backed this yet.
8 days left.
8 days left. Okay.
It's 1,000 backers, so 800 of that are packages. I know there's 800 packages I got to pack. I've been ordering all these supplies like by the caseload, and I haven't.
So you're telling me to order the digital rewards?
Yeah, we have digitals, but it's like 200 and something people do the digitals. I think.
Yeah.
It's $5. You can buy it digitally for $5. So
now, Jimmy, I know you have your own private office, and then you have an office at the comic shop.
Yeah.
Where do you fulfill all these things? Where do you fulfill all of your campaigns? Do you do them in your regular office, in your basement?
In the Florida basement. No, in the comic shop. So because the truck can pull up and pick up and drop off. Like we have a post office truck come and take all the packages from us. We have a deal with them. We give them pizza and stuff, Nice. But we I can't have this in the first 6 Kickstarters I did. Everything was in the house, in the living room, and it was not good anymore. So the comic store had an extra room to rent, so they rented it out, and that looks like Billy. I think you've been there. It's like a giant warehouse type thing. So. So we still got a couple of days left. The mystery box is the best thing in the Kickstarter, meaning you get all the books and all the covers. And then, Brian, you would appreciate this. I just filled the box with stuff around my house.
Is there a Bad Manners picture disc in there?
There is everything.
There's a tube of vodka toothpaste.
Vodka toothpaste. I just found there's something else to put in. I was like, I keep finding things. Here's a Spider-Man coin, like some bronze coin, and oh my God, it's like I keep throwing things in these boxes because I pre-pack them. But all my 80s rock and roll shirts, new wave shirts, each one box has gotten some of those, and then old DVDs of weird movies and stuff, and I fill the box with if they pay $200, I like to think I fill it with $400 to $500 worth of cool stuff. You know, plus I can get rid of a lot of stuff. You know,
Yeah, and the history
I throw my recyclables in there.
I do love that idea though of opening something and not knowing what you're getting, right? Like everything is there's when we grew up. I don't know how old you are, Nile. Probably a lot younger than us. When we grew up, I mean, there was a lot of serendipity about the way you would find things. You didn't know what comics were coming out on what day. You would go to the store and there would be stuff on the rack. You didn't always know what was going to be on TV. You'd flip the channels and you'd find something. And the same thing with music. And it's very cool that I have access to everything I ever wanted. You know, like I can like, oh, someone mentioned a band. I can just put it on Spotify and listen to it, or listen to it on Apple Music, or find whatever movie I want. But there's something about, like, I keep cable channels. I don't cut the cord because I like just flipping channels and finding something that's on right now. You know, that's starting at the right time and having that experience. And the box sounds like that to me, to our large.
Oh, dude, there's a couple of videos, people of them opening my mystery box and pulling out like an old watch and like I don't know what this is. And it's funny because like I've put weird things, Brian. You know, I have lots of stuff. Right, I just would empty like a cabinet and just fill the box. It's one of those post office boxes where it doesn't matter how heavy it is, as long as you can fill it. And I've done it where I had one guy. I
filled it with rocks from his yard.
There was a candy bar in one, but I definitely a lot of them we do like. So I do like these postcards. Like I'm always drawing on postcards, so I throw them in. And Dave Johnson did a bunch. You know, Dave did.
Oh wow!
Oh nice.
Cool. Postcard. So we have like an art mystery box that we throw a bunch of Davis, right? Wait.
That's great.
So we put a lot of illustration in it, you know, and there's some cool stuff.
That would be easy.
But that's also in the mystery boxes too, you know, or you might get my my official Blondie fan club newsletter in there. You know,
I saw Blondie last year, Jimmy. I saw her play. I'd never seen her live before.
She still sounds great, man. Right?
She did sound great. She was. We saw her in Forest Hills.
There's a postcard from the fan club. So when you join the fan club, you get this postcard from Debbie and the note from Debbie. And there's the Radio City Station PO box from.
All these years, and you're still passing notes from girls, huh?
Yeah, you can get your official merchandise, Blondie shirt, satin shirt. Billy, you must have one of those.
Oh yeah.
The scarf kerchief. It's $6.
I love her. I'm just not a fan of the fan club though. I got to join that.
I think it's over.
Oh.
I think it ended, Billy.
30 years ago.
Oh, I did get this recently.
You got your own Debbie now.
I have my own Debbie.
Yeah, you do have a Debbie, man.
Yeah. Oh, when I first met her, she reminded me of her.
I just got this from Chris Stein.
Really?
Oh wow.
Him and Debbie signed it to me, so that was cool. He took the photo. God. He took the photo. So.
And that's amazing of how that is. I mean, the influence on the Suicide Squad cover costume.
Oh, definitely Harley. Definitely Harley is. Yep. You know, Deborah Harry's definitely an influence when Amanda and I were doing Harley.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, you look. We all understand that the stuff we loved as kids never leaves us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just turns into other things. You know.
Yeah, it's so funny because Sinatra was asked in an interview. So, do you think people are going to be? You know, the kids today, the teenagers today, because he hated rock and roll. The teenagers today, do you think they'd be listening to, you know, Elvis Presley and all this kind of stuff? He's like, absolutely not. And look at Frank would be known that we'd be listening to the Sex Pistols when we're in our 60s and 70s. And all, you know what I mean? And Blondie and you know, Megadeth and everything like that.
Yeah, man.
Hey, your music stays with you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It's timeless. And I always say, like, the older music, it's the stuff we still hear is so timeless. Like, and a lot of other stuff gets lost.
You know what I do like though is, you know, the opposite of the serendipity argument is, you know, when you do listen to something algorithmically, like on Apple or Spotify or whatever, and you listen to, like, you know, you're like, I love the Buzzcocks or Stiff Little Fingers or Sex Pistols, and you put on a station, you will find new stuff that is
similar,
influenced by that.
Yeah.
and comes out of that. And so I do always love seeing that come forward and finding stuff like that. So
yeah, you know what? Cool. If you have Alexa or or Echo, whatever you have, does anybody have that in the house?
Yeah,
I have it in a box in my house. I've never opened it.
But if you just go Alexa, play WLIR in Long Island, it plays LIR. Yep, because now it's streamed, so it's not like it plays old 80s music, but it plays new music by those bands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
So you can get it online, but you can Alexa plays it. It's pretty.
Play WFMU, play LIR. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, LIR was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
92.7, baby. Everyone's like, look at this. Nile's like, what is that?
Oh wow.
Long Island Radio.
What is radio?
What is radio?
Oh my god.
What is that?
Oh my god.
Hey
Siri, make me a coffee. My Roomba butler is about to bring me my coffee.
So Jimmy, what's the now Brian? We just have you on him now primarily because we don't know anything about games, but we just wanted to reconnect with you. And did you hear that?
What was that?
I said, Brian, we wanted you to be our guest, and it's all for personal reasons because we don't know anything about Magic the Gathering or anything like that. But we wanted to reconnect with you and hang out with you. And we asked Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, of course I'll come on. But we'd love to have you back on again and actually do talk about Magic, and maybe we work with Vince to have our tournaments, right, Nile, or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do an episode where you teach us how to play Magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had Magic cards for 25 years, and I honestly bought Magic cards because I like the art, and that's why I was collecting them.
Steve Ellis, by the way, we mentioned him earlier. He's done a bunch of Magic cards over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
Steve Ellis from Crusade.
Oh, Steve, yeah, man.
Yeah, he's done a bunch. In fact, just a couple recently.
People collect that Magic art, like the art of those cards, and like I see people fighting over them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Bo Hampton Magic the Gathering comic book page that I haven't gotten framed yet.
Nice.
That Matt Wang bought me as a birthday present one year. All right, Niles, do you know what music format this is? Just gonna test you.
That the A track?
I know you can.
That is the A track.
Is that Boz Skaggs? Who is that?
No, Joe
Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm the man.
I could he was small, and I'm on my little computer. I don't have my monitor.
Now, how does that case hold the disc? I'm not that.
You know, I saw Joe Jackson last year. He played down.
Oh my god, really? I've never seen him live.
Sounds amazing. He sounds amazing.
I've never seen him live. I've only gotten into a fight with him at Forbidden Planet.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
He looks like a guy who would start a fight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was all sorts. That was when I was much younger. When I was like 14, worked at Forbidden Planet. Yeah.
You're like, fuck you, Joe Jackson.
Yeah, I think I might have said that.
You call him Joe Jackson, you got to call him his whole name.
He's great. He's great.
Well, there was all sorts of shenanigans going on at that store with celebrities and people currying favor with. Yeah, it was that. There's a whole like TV show about that you could make about like comics stores in the 80s in New York.
That's
sure.
Great.
Sounds
now,
like a new sitcom to start writing.
Jimmy, what's after Pop Kills 2? What's your next campaign going to be?
Well, it's I think we're gonna do the next one. It's a 4-issue book, so we might actually do. We're talking about doing issue 3 and 4 as one Kickstarter. Just
I would. That's a good idea.
And then I have a sex and violence book after that, volume 3. Cool. So that's like one of my most successful Kickstarters of the sex and violence books because people like that.
Yeah. So no Slasher Man comic.
No what?
No Slasher Man comic.
No, it was actually called Splatter Man.
Oh, Splatter. Oh, okay.
And that was no. But they changed it. What happened was we solicited through Diamond as Splatter Man, and Showtime wanted to take us to court over the name because they have a thing which I didn't know about. They had a thing called Splatterday Night at the Movies.
Oh.
And they said my character was too close to their thing. They didn't even have a character. It was just what they called their screening on Saturday nights. Anyway, their lawyer told my lawyer, look, we're just going to take you to court until you have no money. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Slasher Man, boom.
Yeah.
But I changed it, but I had to change we lost, we had to change the title of the book. So I didn't want to call it Slasher Man. I thought that was stupid. And I just said, well, how about we just call it Random Acts of Violence? Because it kind of, it starts like that, and
great title.
It's a better title, I think.
Yeah, we changed the title, but it was supposed to be Splatterman. And I thought it would be great to come out with the Amazing Splatterman after that. I bet I can do it now because, like I said, they probably don't even have that anymore.
I bet if you do an Amazing Splatterman number 301 homage cover, you'll sell 10,000 of them.
I am ready for Into the Splatterverse.
Yeah.
There you go. The story of the clones. We're going to do the Clone Wars.
There you go. Yeah. Now, what are you up to, Brian, these days?
Well, Neutral Ground, sold Neutral Ground, started working for Wizards of the Coast, doing a lot of commentary and doing some game design at various places along the way. And then sometime in 2019, I took a job as the chief creative officer for a new company called Coast Inc., which is a company that's making games, doing some comic book stuff. And it's a blockchain company, a company that does blockchain marketplaces. So we're making a digital card game called Emergence, a lot of Steve Ellis artwork.
Nice.
And in fact, I'm doing a comic book right now based on the characters that Evan Dorkin is writing and Steve Ellis is drawing. We're about 2/3 done with the first issue. It's pretty cool. It's just like a love letter to like 80s and 90s comics, just like totally over the top, great, action superhero stuff. And we're making this blockchain trading card game called Emergent CCG. We just completed our alpha for the game and going back, into the shop and taking some of the stuff we learned from that and rebuilding it and making some changes and fixing it up. And we're going to be getting that out ASAP, and it's going to be really cool because it's a digital card game, but because of blockchain, it functions the same way a physical card game would function. So if you own a card, it's not just like some fungible thing that just you have one of these cards and they're all the same. You have your copy of that card, and that card knows that you've played it, and it knows that you won a tournament with it, and it knows that you traded it to Billy and that Billy won a tournament with it.
Wow.
And the cards remember things and they know things and they're special and they're unique. So it's a really exciting project that takes like my 30 years of comic book experience, my 25 odd years of gaming experience, and fuses them together. And I get to just hang out with some cool people and tell stories and make games.
Awesome.
You've got to come back on when you
definitely
have that, and even through the process of it, and even when the comic comes out.
And one day we're gonna do a pro game, right?
We are, yeah, man. I have the game. I've got it designed.
Billy, how would that do on Kickstarter?
Jimmy, you probably do $200,000, right, Nile?
Oh my gosh! Why is that not good? Let's move with this. Come on.
Is that a board game or is it a card game?
That would be up
it's a party game.
Oh my God!
There you go.
It's a party game. It's like a
It would have 50 new drawings by Amanda, so she would do 50.
What?
How many cards?
You'll do $200,000.
Probably.
You really would. You really would.
It depends how slutty it was. We'd make
my God,
make it really slutty. There better be like drinking aspects to the game. Like make it like a college kid's dream.
Oh my God, you've got to do that.
And then have people submit the photos of when they got pregnant.
It's been a super busy year for me. So like Jimmy and I talked about it, but like I don't want to half-ass it. One of the side effects of hustling all the time is that you're doing multiple things at once. And as you get a little older, you realize you sometimes need to narrow down what you're doing and focus your energy on one thing at a time, which is I'm trying to do. I'm not doing a great job of it, but I'm at least trying to do that.
Well, I think Amanda's, like I said, she's finishing up her last Harley and Birds of Prey book, and after that, she's only doing her own stuff. So it's going to be an interesting year next year.
If you guys want to do a Moxie comic in the Emergence universe, I'll just you guys do whatever you want with it, and we'll work some cool shit out.
Did you see Patrick came in and says the pro against humanity?
I think he read my pitch document.
That you got to get on screen. That would be freaking awesome. That's like HBO stuff right there.
That is so brilliant. My God.
I love the Pro. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda is one of my favorite artists of all time. She's like that. Her ability to convey like gesture and emotion and detail all at the same time is unmatched by most people working in comics today.
Yeah, her storytelling.
One of the things I'm most proud of at Crusade is getting to work on a book where my childhood heroes, Gary Cohn and Dan Mishkin, write it. Right, I loved Blue Devil as a kid.
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorite comics of all time. One of my best friends, Jimmy Palmiotti, inking it, and Amanda drawing it. Who I felt like I had this secret knowledge of Amanda for a long time because Jimmy and those guys knew her, and she was like drawing Barbie comics before that, right?
I met her,
but she never got to do anything that looked vaguely like Amanda before Tomoe, right?
It was definitely there was not a lot of females in the business, right, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that book.
They kept giving her like girl stuff, and she kept going, well, I could do other things, I could do anything, but they kept giving her that stuff. She's at a place with her stuff now. It's like her style's like, that's her style. Like nobody, she's one of those people, and Billy, you're like that too, where it's like your art doesn't look, nobody else looks like you, and I see people try to copy Amanda's stuff, and it's always like, you don't realize how that simplicity is so hard to get to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to watch Darwin Cook draw, and Darwin used to, and I said, Darwin, I said, it's like people hate you because you make it look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be confident to draw like that. Like, and Jimmy, I mean, Amanda and Darwin are both perfect examples of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jimmy, I got you talked about mystery boxes. I got a package in the mail about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. No, and it was someone just sent me the Martini edition of Darwin's Martini edition of the Parker books.
Yeah.
I eventually figured out who it was, but I didn't know who it was for a while. And I thought it was Tony. I thought it was our friend Tony, because Tony's like, oh, I sent you something. I'm like, oh my God, my great friend Tony, he sent me this thing. It's like the best thing ever. And he's like, what I sent you isn't nearly as nice as that.
Right.
But what I mean, that's like that has like a place of honor on my coffee table.
Yeah, no, he's like I said, he was one of a kind guy, on 18 different levels. Yeah. But his artwork, honestly, DC should just model their whole line of books after his covers that he did, and they'd be in a better place.
Yeah. Now you guys aren't doing anything right now. After that, you aren't doing anything for DC.
We wrote a short story for one of the Harley Black, White and Reds. That's all done, and we did this thing. It's I want to say it's like one of the Scott Snyder. It's called Death Metal Multiverse.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a short story where it features the Super Pets, and it's me and Amanda wrote it, and Chad Harden drew it, and it's kind of a crazy book. I know Patton Oswalt's doing the other story in the book, so it's like Amanda and I doing one, and Patton's doing the other one. But it's ours is about basically about the Super Pets not dealing with things very well. That's all I want to say. All I have to say is it's 8 pages, but honestly, I kept asking them, can we have like double that? Can we have more? Nope. Like, nope. No, you get 8 pages, but that's all we've done for them. And, I think for the foreseeable future, unless there's something that that jumps at us, Amanda's onto Captain Brooklyn, and we have our Florida superhero team that we're doing. And let's just say everything's going to be a little more like pro-ish.
Great. Fantastic.
We're like done being told what not to do and how we should do things, and we need to strike out and do our own things for a while. And if something interesting comes along, of course we'll do it. But
cool.
And interesting things always find a way to come along, right? Like especially when you're busy.
They do. Some days Billy, you have this. Some days I think I guess I don't matter anymore. And then the phone rings and they're like, hey, can you do this? And all of a sudden you get an email from some random guy and you're like, oh, what? Okay. It's just an odd business because you're home. It's like, it's like I've been so busy for so long. When I wasn't busy, I was like, did I just die? What happened?
But it is fun to go back to. It is fun keeping the door open and doing stuff for them. But I've made far more money, far more. And I want to encourage other people out there. People's dream is to work for. They want to draw Spider-Man or write Spider-Man. Do your own books, because the return is I just got a whopping $147 royalty check from DC. But I think compared to your own creator-owned stuff and the satisfaction of doing your own books and having it your everything you own, your own IP, is there's nothing comparing to it. And I know we have that nostalgia because we all grew up loving comics and we love working on those iconic characters because it is really cool. It is. But like I said, Debbie's like, do your own books.
I just saw an article. Somebody just wrote an article and they called it the Jimmy and Amanda verse, and it covered all the books we did for DC and how they connect. And I realized like that could have been the Jimmy and Amanda verse, like our Jimmy and Amanda verse, not the one we gave to Warner Brothers that they'll make cartoons out of and they'll make stuff out of. And like it to put it in perspective, we did all that work on Harley, but they do a cartoon and we're not involved with writing it. We're not involved with creation.
Which is crazy because you guys get credited, right? Like Cyborg Man, you guys.
Cyborg. I mean, we credited. I created it, and Amanda did some turnaround art, but that was the extent.
Right.
And we're like, and I'm like, I write animation and I've written stuff. It's like, why aren't you using us? But it happens all the time. Look, with that Jonah Hex movie, let's be honest, they should have hired me.
Yeah.
They should have hired Justin. I even look at the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. It wouldn't have killed them to have Amanda and I there as consultants. We would have definitely added some stuff that they would have never thought of doing with the character. So until
honestly, even just the PR for them of doing that, right? Like, there's so much fan backlash all the time against these things, right? There's always some story about fans outraged about something, right? Like if they actually, did some Entertainment Tonight story or some, went on some, popular comic podcast or whatever, and said, we're making this movie. We've brought in Gail Simone, or we've brought in Jimmy and Amanda, or it's like we've brought in a creative council of people who've touched these characters over the years to sort of make sure that we're, put these bumpers on it, right? That's a great story. And people are excited about that. And they care more about the characters. And and it doesn't cost them, like, it's a rounding error what that costs them to throw everyone in a room for a week.
In Harley and the Birds of Prey, they could have made Amanda one of the roller derby girls.
Right.
It would have been so simple just to throw her in there in the scene in the bars. We love that kind of stuff, but they don't think that way. But Billy disappeared. Billy, we lost.
Well, he's protesting that Amanda didn't roller derby.
Yeah.
he's on strike.
Yes, he's actually did enough of that.
Having some internet issues.
Yeah, TJ asked about the pro coming back, the culture, cancel culture. I don't worry about that because the book was made when it was made. It's in its 7th printing, and if people want to cancel it, it's just going to give it more press, and I'm going to sell more copies. So go for it. Yeah. Go pick on it. Make a big stink about it, so I can sell another 10,000 copies. Because if you read it, you realize that it isn't what it appears to be on the surface. People think the pro is one thing, and it actually is another thing. But I don't worry about that at all. The cancel culture people, go for it. Go try to cancel the pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy just texted me. His internet just died. So
internet's
we can talk about Billy.
We'll talk about it.
He's like, don't talk about me. He just texted you, don't talk about me.
that was fake. So I was afraid. I was watching him fading on us and muting. I'll tell you, that dude can blow his nose the right way. He's got that perfect pitch. I can't do that, man.
Yeah, it's funny because it's the cancel culture and the you know, you when we did the comics, they came out, and they represent the time we did them. You can't go back and rewrite them. I mean, you know, I don't understand. I just don't think it. I think it's a waste of time. I think if you want to worry about the world, worry about what's happening right now.
Exactly. But unfortunately, as you know, that's what the cancel culture does. Is they'll go back in time.
Dig into the pro. They should really analyze it and get in there. And you know, I think all of them need to get a copy of it and really read it cover to cover and see what they can get mad at. You know, it's just like there's so much stuff you can get mad at these days. I don't think a comic book that came out in 2001 should be your main focus.
Is that really that long ago already?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Wow, you're heading into the 20-year anniversary of that.
That's right. We got to plan something for the 20th anniversary.
Yes,
wink,
you do.
Wink, wink.
Yes, you do. Nice.
20th fan appreciation. 20th anniversary fan appreciation.
Think of something good, Brian.
I could re-release that book and have Amanda do 30 pinups in it of madness. We can use it for Brian's card set, and you know, it's interesting, right? Time just flies. Billy keeps texting me. Are you guys getting his text? I'm like, yes, we are. It's all good, Billy. This show never needed you all the time to be on.
He's practically never on anymore.
I can't believe Long Island got hit so hard that he hasn't had internet for 2 weeks. I mean,
that is crazy.
Well, he's got, the studio on the 3rd floor, so he's got the lines that run in there. So now they're telling them, like, oh, well, the lines aren't any good. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because it worked fine before this all happened. So, now they want to go in and redo everything. So now he's got to go down into the den area where they have the other internet connection, and that's where he's going off of.
Oh, so like maybe his repeater got blown out or something?
I don't know. They're saying it's something to do with his wiring, and when they do the readings, they get, negative 13 or whatever.
It must be the blood from all the dead animals in his basement.
It's a haunted house. The walls are bleeding into the internet.
The spirits of the animals. Tell everyone I'm sorry.
All right, Billy is sorry for being Billy. We don't know what he's sorry about. His internet sucks, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I did get my Brian Polito Kickstarter today.
Oh, nice.
So I got a bunch of stuff. It's like full of stuff. I don't know if they wanted all this or they're just being nice to me, Is
that $1? Is that a real dollar?
No.
It's a $2 bill.
No, it's a fake dollar bill. It's I have a bag. Well, I have the book, right? And it's signed by the crew. Nice. And then I have this bag of stuff, there's postcards, there's pins, there's pins there's a magnet of the United States, there's a dollar, there's some money.
Oh, there you go.
Some money.
Is that the La Morta?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then there's some trading cards, which I have to find some friends to trade with, so we can trade the cards. And then there's
trade for some magic cards.
There is, and then there's a in Death She Lives. So that's for my first. I don't put it on my car, but I put it on other people's cars.
There you go.
And then there's a calendar for 2021. It's a little too small for me to fill in what I got to do. So
right. It's not a good to do. Just stay home and read Lady Death, right?
I need to, stay home. There you go. So I got magnets and pins, and there's some buttons, and I got a wooden nickel. I think it looks like a wooden nickel from. I don't know what this is. There we go.
That's just like a. Is that a Pog?
It might be a Pog.
Did you ever do Pogs, Jimmy? With any of your stuff?
No. I remember them, Brian. We remember Pogs.
Pogs were right before comics got hot again, right? Like Pogs were propping up comic shops before like Death of Superman and all that stuff happened. Mm-hmm. Like they were the big trend right before people remembered that they went to comic stores for comics.
I don't think any Pog is worth money.
All right, Jimmy. So
they're coming back.
Talking about mystery boxes, right? So some guy, very similar to the Brian Blevins thing, this guy on Twitter says that he's a magic guy, but he has some comics. He's like, I found these comics, so I'm just going to send them to you. What's your address? I'm like, all right, sure. Send me a box of comics. I haven't opened it. I just broke the seal on it.
Okay.
You want to see what comics he sent me?
Oh,
yes.
So we got.
Let's see it.
All right. Okay.
It's fantastic.
This is I got a gaming magazine. So I've got a copy of The Duelist.
The Duelist,
Nice.
okay.
That's Magic.
It's a good movie too.
You're gonna like at least one of these comics, Jimmy. But let's see. Let's see what's in here.
All right.
Spider Woman.
Okay. Yep.
41.
Number 41.
It's a
Carmine.
Carmine.
Steve Leialoha.
Leave Layla. Okay.
Yeah, Steve Leialoha. I didn't know Chris Claremont wrote this.
He wrote everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this one's super cool.
Oh, Flash Gordon. Is that, Al Williamson or no?
It is. I think this is Al Williamson. Yeah, there's Al's signature right there.
Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Mongo's in that issue. Mongo's in that.
Classics Illustrated, Man Without a Country.
Throw it in the garbage.
Oh, do you remember those? Come on. Did you didn't you do book reports off of those when you were a
Yes, that's garbage. Throw it in the garbage.
They're great for paper macheing.
They just fall apart. They think up the room. Oh, look at that. That looks
Justice
like
League.
Yeah, man. That's
Which
what
one's that?
50 cents. That's a lot of comic for 50 cents.
Yeah, that really is. Oh man, look at this one. This actually has some tie into the Eternity Days.
Terraformers, Shaper of Worlds. Wow, Wonder Color Comics.
This is Dave Campiti. This is after Dave Campiti had his fallout with Scott Rosenberg at Malibu, and then went and started his own third or fourth or fifth version of his comic book company. He did Terraformers.
That's good. That's an insulation for your house.
There you go.
Batman Adventures.
Okay, that's good stuff. Ty Templeton, maybe, or Looney Tunes. Can't go
Looney
wrong.
Tunes. We got some Airboy.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. That was
Chuck Dixon just did a couple new ones.
Comics, and we actually have an Eclipse comic.
Yeah, man.
Oh, there you go.
I've got 2 comics without covers.
Looney Tunes.
Okay, good stuff. Chummy Dummy.
Dennis the Menace.
Oh yeah, Stan Ketchum, I think. Right?
Yeah. Another Looney Tunes, and then Ghosts.
Okay, yeah. I bet there's a good South American artists in there.
So Joe Kubert on the cover.
Yeah. Esther Redondo.
Art by Keith Giffen.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, and to be fair, he was probably copying a great Latin artist. Whoa. And then this one here. Look at that.
Is that Mike Zeck? Is that a Mike Zeck issue?
That is a Mike Zeck issue.
There you go.
Gene Day and Mike Zeck.
All right. Yeah, man. Because after Galassi, those guys took over after Galassi.
Yeah, that really trippy run by Gene Day
man.
On Master of Kung Fu. So that was my mystery box of comics that someone.
That's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the most fun I've had.
Nice. That's nice getting a random box of comics.
Yeah.
I like it.
Which one are you burning first? No, I'm joking.
The classics goes first. Oh, the Terraformers.
F that guy. Sorry.
JC Vaughn's in the house. What's going on, JC Vaughn?
Hey, look, Brian.
Hi.
Hey, Amanda.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
The pop is in front of you. Wait, I gotta. There's a pop. No, the other way.
There we go.
Nope, the other
I
way.
was just saying so many nice
pop.
things about your artwork. You should have been here about 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
He's eating the pop. Amanda's head just exploded. Pop.
I can get rid of the pop. I can get rid of the pop.
Right.
I like that. That was
I
great.
need to get rid of the pop.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
How's it going, you guys?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Doing really well. Doing okay. I came down to tell Jimmy that dinner is ready.
Yeah, I know.
Even though it is.
Nice.
Dude, we eat the
10:40.
latest meals. Like we eat right
Wow.
before.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
It's all thrown off.
Yeah.
I haven't even eaten.
About you, Brian was complimenting you.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Aw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're like in my top 5, like all time. I love it.
We have to guess the other
Thank you.
4, though. We got to think about who's the other 4. Frank Frazetta? Is Frazetta one?
I don't think of Frazetta as a comic book artist, really.
All right,
I think he's done some stuff, but like I don't think of him as.
Alex Toth.
Yes.
Okay.
Joe
Yeah.
Kubert.
Kubert?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, Cuba.
Eliza?
Yeah.
Mazzucchelli, because you were talking about
Yeah,
him?
and Mazzucchelli there. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a good.
Oh, who else?
That's 5, man. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Let's stop there.
No,
More
seriously.
importantly, what's for dinner?
Just
what is for dinner?
Pulled pork sandwiches.
Pulled pork.
Yeah, it's really easy to make, and I just finished some work, and so I
like when Amanda yells, "It's time for pulled pork." You know,
is that for dinner or dessert? Huh?
Both.
Thank you, God.
No. So how are you guys doing?
Doing well, surviving.
Yeah.
Surviving. Just we moved recently into a place that's more suitable to working from home, if that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 6 months to a year.
Can I ask you, in your old place, did you somehow put some milk behind the wall again, or no? That didn't happen.
No.
Okay.
Wait, what?
That certainly never happened. Certainly, I think the milk was under the rug. The eggs were in the walls.
Oh, the eggs in the wall.
The milk was under the rug. No eggs under the rug.
I know.
To be young and stupid and vindictive.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
So
then Billy's Wi-Fi went out, so Billy left the show.
Oh, really?
Anything you want
It's not
about
Billy's show; it's Nile's show, but he lets Billy go on it. So
it helps me talk to people.
It does.
I'm so lonely in my parents' basement here.
Letting Billy run around like an out of control puppy.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you though, I'm pretty blown away with how he blows his nose. I don't know why, it's just in my head. Like he just hits that perfect like.
He blows it so hard.
Honks?
It's like the back of his shoes come out of his nostrils. That's how hard he blows. Like it just sucks his legs up through his nose.
He does Tex Avery sneezes.
Yes.
And then, Jimmy's best friend Blevins was here, but he had to leave. So, I don't know. You got your sock back.
Maybe he's got the COVID, Maybe he's got that.
Yeah,
I don't know. He did just go for his procedure. He had the surgery on his arm, and then he got sick.
He had to get tested, right?
Yeah, he had to get tested before and after.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. It's good. These guys people should get tested, though. You should.
I got tested.
I just tested.
It's free. It's free in most places. Well, up here, you can go to the local pharmacies and stuff, and you can get your testing done.
Good.
Hey, there's a guy passed out on the road with Q-tips. I just go up to him. He sticks one up my nose. We're good. We're good.
Your guy used a Q-tip?
Well, they actually, when I got the test, it was a small Q-tip. It was small.
They didn't do the brain probe.
No, there's no brain probe. It's that's the old way.
I had the brain probe.
Did you?
Yeah, which I wish they told me, because she's like, oh, it's gonna be uncomfortable, this and that. I'm like, oh, like when they swab for strep or anything. She's like, I don't think it's that bad. So she's like, all right, you ready? So I open my mouth and they shove it down my nose, and I'm like, oh God. I was like, wait, you didn't tell me it was going down my nose. I was like, motherfucker, what the? I'm like cursing at the poor girl.
The other way is through your butt. They put it through a really long one too.
That's how Jimmy had it done.
I did.
Yeah. Right. The joke's on you. That was not my swab.
It was $40 more.
Yeah, but I mean the doctors are good though, because the doctor braces his hands on your shoulder, and it's pretty smooth.
You should keep your head perfectly still.
No, that's not.
No.
Woo!
How about some pulled pork sandwiches?
Dinner.
All right.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Jimmy, it was great to hang out.
You too, buddy. Good seeing you. Let's do this without the show one day. That would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't love you, Nile. I mean, it's just
No, it's fine. Catch up. Have a fun time. Talk to the past.
Talk about.
Yeah.
The things.
Yeah.
Talk about stuff. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
I know what you did last summer. Things.
Yeah. No, I know. They're doing a development on that property now, so we're going to actually have to worry about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're going to be digging that up.
Sure.
Nice.
Why not?
Well, I'm glad that's recorded.
Trains and automobiles, so why not that? Kevin Hart Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Will Smith.
Wait,
really?
What?
Yeah, they're
remaking it.
Automobiles with Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
All right, because I caught some. You know how Twitter is, right? Like you just catch on to tail ends of shit. And I saw something about that, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" And I just kept scrolling through. They can't ruin that movie. That's the best, you know, when they're in bed. He's like, "That's not a pillow." John Candy was the best.
Like, you can't make a new movie. I guess you can't have something that's brand new. You can't write a new comedy because
I would at least
too hard.
just remake a good movie.
What's that?
I would like them to at least remake a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie's very good.
Well, I think they should remake only horrible movies and try to make them a little better. You know?
Have you ever seen Another Son of Sam?
No, is it the dog, like the dog's perspective?
No, it has nothing to do with Son of Sam whatsoever. It's possibly the worst movie ever made. It has 0 headshots out of it's fantastic. You will love it.
I have to see
it. Will both love it.
Look, I just heard there's a Deep Blue Sea 3.
Yes, I think it's called just Deep Blue Seas, and the 3 is an S.
I didn't know there was a 2.
I didn't know there was a 2. You know, so it's like, okay, I got to see this now. It's more fun to watch it with a group of people, though. You know, those movies are great with a group of people.
You know, you can do that on this, right? Like you can watch a movie.
Oh, we can do that.
And everyone watch it at the same time and just like be on screens.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
It would be fun to do that and watch a porno just to see everybody looking uncomfortable, like in certain parts. Like
when you'd like watch movies with your parents and then like the woman opens
like
up the shirt and you're like looking like you're disgusted, like, oh God, why would they do that, Mom?
What is that?
Is she allergic to bees?
What is that?
Does she have bee stings?
Jimmy had this unfortunate like luck. Like every time we went to see either a movie or a play with my parents, he would always wind up sitting next to my mom, and there would be like some really
touching,
like.
No, I'm kidding.
Really like uncomfortable scene, and it would be just sort of like.
We went to see Killer Joe on Broadway, and there's a scene where
involving a chicken drumstick
and pushing a girl on the knees and shoving the girl, and her mom sitting next to me, and I'm like, okay, like please end soon, you know. I think
so. Who wants KFC?
And then there was a movie.
There was a movie with like it was almost pornographic, and her mom sitting next to me, and I'm like, do we have any more popcorn or something? You know, like trying to do anything I can not to focus up there. Like, I didn't see that. That's not, you know.
Coming soon to the Clearwater Community Theater. Oh, Calcutta.
I put the wrong glasses on. Like, I didn't see that. Hey, can you tell me what I missed? Yeah. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. But her mom, you know, is like Amanda. She has a good sense of humor. And will never let me forget it.
Yeah.
This is too much fun.
Like Amanda.
Way too much fun.
Like Amanda. So anyway, we have to go eat. I don't want to kill the show, but so Brian, say hi to Carla.
I will. She sent her love.
Yes. Tell her we sent our love back.
Niall, say hello to everybody.
I will. I will say hello to everyone.
Friend.
And thank you for JC and TJ and
TJ, JC, Mob C, TJ,
and
Flora Delaney. Well, it's Chris.
Whoever watches this on repeat, on reruns on YouTube.
Yes.
We were thinking about you.
Enjoy that.
Brian
Enjoy that
for putting this together for me. This was so much fun. This was a great, really a fun walk down memory lane for me.
Yeah, we'll have you back on with Blevins so we can talk some gaming stuff.
I'd like to see Brian do some magic before he leaves because he's been talking about this magic all the time.
Actually, a lot of people are like, "You're having magic on the show?" I'm like,
"It's hard.
Yeah.
Hard."
Let me hand that one. But you got to hold the card up, Brian, like to my hand.
Okay.
Let me grab that. Bring it up. Okay, let me get that one. Okay, put it up.
Was yours the Beast of Greens?
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Blevins.
Look, Blevins is back, so you can say goodbye.
What's up?
You've come back to say goodbye.
Oh, are you serious?
Billy got in drag. Billy dressed up in drag. And
and it's almost we're approaching the 2-hour mark.
I just have to be really loud now.
You're like a rooster. You have to like move around like
very professionally.
At least I kept my promise to come. I kept my promise to come back.
Where's the duck stick? Where's
my gun?
Where's the duck stick?
I'm gonna imitate Billy.
God, the power of the duck stick.
They did my Billy invitation.
That's a prop. That's just a prop, though, right?
Let me tell you about my new comic
book. That's a lighter.
It's just like, this is the most top secret comic book that I'm working on. It's gonna be the best Miss Fury comic you've ever seen. It's top secret. No one can know what it's about, but it's the best Miss Fury book you're ever gonna buy.
Yeah.
He's got an orange chip, Billy. Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, it's got the orange.
I have the best book coming on. Some people are going to be furious about it. All right, Billy, we got it.
All right, you guys enjoy dinner.
Thanks so much,
man. I'm sorry.
Brian will be in touch with Brian, and we'll do our magic show.
Yeah, will you definitely come back?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Where am I going?
Appreciate it.
I'm home.
Like, you won't leave me, will you?
I'm gonna leave like a Muppet.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Right.
See you later. Thank you very much for coming on.
Have a great night, and we'll see you all Tuesday with Marette Michaels.
God, can't wait for that one.
That's going to be fun. Say goodnight, Blevins.
Good night, Blevins.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.